What's going on, guys? This is Jason of Auglitical. I swim through the politics so you don't drown too. I am just a man trying to bring common sense in a world where common sense isn't so common. So, since tonight is Friday, I decided I wanted to do something a little bit different. What I want to do on Fridays is I want to put stories together and do like a little special thing where, it's a little bit more long form, but this way, I can separate my long form videos from my shorter, lighthearted ones and still be able to do what I want to do with the channel, which is have lighter content, which is, more jokes, relationships, stuff like that, but also still be able to cover the political stuff and what's going on in the world and probably seeing how long I can go with it. So Fridays will be full feature Fridays, is what I'm calling it. And we're going to cover three stories today. And to summarize it, just in case, so you guys know what's going on for this video, we have from least to worst in the stories. We have a career criminal who slashes people with knives, released quickly, and then slashes again. Very shocking. The next story, and as I said, it's from light to getting worse. Woman uses frequent flyer miles to murder ex's new girlfriend. Sounds terrible. And then we have a man steals, watches porn, and plays video games while leaving baby to die, his baby, in 190-degree car. Holy shit. All right, let's get it. New York City transit slasher cut loose by judge, then knifes stranger in deranged subway attack. An unhinged slasher who randomly attacked a stranger outside of Manhattan outside a Manhattan subway station was free to walk the streets despite a separate transit knife attack, official says, as his disfigured victim raged that the lax criminal justice system nearly got him killed. Ex-con Dimitri Marshall, 32 years old, was nabbed several hours after he cut the 27-year-old man across the face without warning outside the East Broadway train station, cops said. It was just the latest transit attack from the unhinged repeat offender who was arrested for slashing a stranger on board a Bronx train last month. So he cut somebody a month ago. And I guarantee you, he has a rap sheet. Whenever you see individuals that do shit like this unprovoked, it's a pattern. It's not the first time. And I guarantee you, if we could look into this person's criminal history, because I'm sure he has a criminal history, there's a fucking pattern here. And again, this is the problem. When you allow criminals and you relax on crime, when you allow the mentally deranged to roam your streets as well, we have a huge problem. If you deal hard with either or of these problems, the other problem goes away, meaning the criminal problem or the mentally ill problem. You go after either one of those problems hard, the other one will slowly sort itself out. Believe me on this. Now, whenever you have these individuals do this, it's always, oh, he wasn't in his right mind. She wasn't in her right mind. You gotta be, you gotta be lenient on these fucking people. They care more about criminals and the mentally deranged, and they care about protecting law-abiding, clean-nosed citizens, and it makes no fucking sense. And again, this shit is by design. And I'm just gonna sit here and say it just like this, New York. 87% chance Madami becomes a fucking mayor of New York City. New York is fucked. Because here's the deal. Criminals are going to run even more rampant. Islamics, radical Islamics, or whatever the fuck it is, are going to they're going to become emboldened because they got one of theirs, and you're going to see, instead of the shit where it was happening in back rooms and shit like this, you're going to start seeing more and more of this shit pushed. You're going to see them start praying in the fucking streets. You're going to start seeing them start to do certain shit because they know they can get away with more and more because this is conquered fucking land at this point. And before anyone sits there and go, oh, why did you bring that up that way? Think about it like this. And this is something a lot of people, oh, we could just make a wall between California or between California and New York, and they could just have that. That is a defeatist fucking mindset. You can't give these types of fucking dangerous individuals an inch because they're going to continue to take a mile until you have absolutely nowhere to go and your back is against the wall. If you think this is bad, wait until that motherfucker becomes man. Look at this. Look at this fucking. You can tell he's mentally ill. You can tell. This is the dude who slashed this guy across the face, who's going around slashing people randomly. His latest victim, who only provided his first name, needed seven stitches for a gash across his top lip and nose, but lamented that the seasoned perp could have taken his life. It's wrong that in the city of New York, Fernando says, who is originally from Ecuador and works as a painter, in Spanish, says, he's a criminal who got released by a judge and he could have killed me. I don't know why the justice system lets him go free. Well, it's because you live in New York, liberal hellhost, bleeding heart liberal city of New York, where they believe to protect criminals and it's a sanctuary city and all of this stupid shit. And the saddest thing about it is the ones who suffer the most are the good people. They're the ones who suffer the fucking most. New York City and California are like blackboard experiments that they can fuck around with, and then they try to push that shit to the rest of the goddamn country. And it's disgusting and it needs to stop. We need to have across the board, all 50 fucking states, the same laws that apply to one group to every fucking body. You commit a violent criminal act, your ass goes away. You commit 3 felonies, your ass goes away for a long time. And if they're violent felonies, your ass probably shouldn't be sitting there getting 3 square meals in a bed. But that's just me. And if you're an illegal and if you do a violent crime, well, you better hope you get deported. That's your best case scenario. But we don't do this. We play these fucking games where everyone sits there and everybody got to have this fucking, again, like I said, this redemption story. This individual's going around cutting people. Eventually, he's going to kill somebody if y'all keep letting him out into the streets. How do I know this? Because we covered stories like this multiple times on this channel. Multiple times we covered stories like this multiple times on this channel where you have an individual going around and, oh, they just slipped through the cracks. And they end up murdering somebody. They end up fucking murdering somebody. And then the same usual fucking people, oh yeah, you know, well that's New York. New York, just run. What do they love to say? Oh, New York is screwed if you can't get out. Oh, just give up. Just completely just surrender that land. Fernando said he had just gotten off the train on his way home from work and was waiting to cross the street when the blade-wielding man ambushed him. I came out behind him. I didn't pay any attention to him, the victim said. I stopped on the corner on the street. I couldn't cross because the light was red, so I looked to the left and to the right, and I felt like a blow to my face. He grabbed me, and I was going to fight him back, but then I saw the blood. Yeah, so my man was shocked. See, and that's the thing too, right? So I have this big thing that a lot of fucking people just don't have any idea of self-preservation, right? Like they don't know how to protect their lives. They don't take the proper measures, right? The thing is, you can't 100% always be prepared, right? I think Bruce Lee used to, like, I forgot what it was, but apparently Bruce Lee used to always be on like high alert, or he would train himself to always be on high alert. And it's something that you can do every day when you're walking outside. Just kind of like picture, situations where somebody's like, whenever you see somebody approaching you, maybe that's like a situation where it's like, what would you do in this situation if that was happening? So you can mentally prepare yourselves and better position yourselves to be able to defend yourselves. But here's the deal, dog. If you're coming from work, right? You're tired. You're ready to go fucking home. You're not always on high alert unless you see it coming from a mile away, right? What did this man do wrong? He came from work. He looked both ways before crossing the street, he gets attacked. This is completely different than, for example, the white girl sitting on the train and she sits next to a guy who you can clearly tell is off his fucking rocker. And as long as she pretends he doesn't exist, she thinks nothing's going to happen to her. This is a completely different scenario, and this is fucking terrible. He didn't say anything. I was in shock, he added. I didn't do anything to him, I told the police. Thank God he didn't hit me in the neck or something. I could have died. The blood-soaked victim ran back into the subway station where he told on-duty cops what had happened, but they couldn't find the attacker who had already fled. And I guarantee you that individual's always in that area. I guarantee you they're always people who do crimes like this, they have patterns, dog. They really do. They really do. I have to be more vigilant, Fernando said, of the sudden burst of violence. It makes me sad because I didn't do anything wrong. Now look what happened to me. It scares me to go outside. I could have been killed. I mean, what do you think is going to happen to individuals, right? You don't do anything wrong and you get fucking attacked. I've mentioned it on my channel before. There was a lady about 3 weeks ago, probably a month ago, who came up to me. She was afraid to go inside of a building close to by where I was. And I walked her to a building, and it was a fucking dude that she did not know who he was. He did not belong anywhere in the building, trying to steal the bikes, because we got bikes outside of these buildings. And I looked at this dude, and I was like, "Yo, man, what are you doing?" You know what I'm saying? I kept the lady in between me and him, and I was like, "You need to go." He started getting crazy or whatever like that. And I told her, I made sure that she was on the other side of me, and I told her, "Yo, go in the building." Go in the building, because I saw the guy getting loud and starting to get active, and it was time to get active. And I saw in his hand for a brief second. And the thing that's so crazy about it was a guy, black guy, right? Black, not African, not Caribbean. I clearly state that, right? Because I know that there's some people that they get upset when I bash whites. Listen, I bash every fucking body. He was one of ours. He wasn't a tether. He wasn't an African. He wasn't a Caribbean. He was black. You can hear it in his voice. And this motherfucker had, again, he had an orange fucking object I saw briefly in his hand, and I immediately thought box cutter. That's what he was using to try to cut the strings for the bikes and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And in his other hand, a whole ass eating half a watermelon. I was like, yeah, this motherfucker crazy. He started getting loud. He started to kind of get, I don't know, flexing, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like he started like showing signs of aggression, like a fucking animal. The second he turns around, he throws the fucking watermelon, I guess to distract me or whatever like that. In my head, all I was thinking was, I'm not giving you the chance. Before that watermelon missed me, because I dodged that but weave. Before that watermelon missed me, I went to town on him. That's it. That's it. Went to town on him. But again, not everybody has that opportunity to mentally prepared. And even as even as I say this to you guys, and which you guys sit there and go, yeah, that's great, right? There could be another situation. I could be coming from work. I could be coming from a friend's house. I could be coming from a party. Yeah, right. I don't go to no parties, but I could be coming from an event or some shit, right? You know, I could be coming from a conservative movement where we sit there and we praise Hitler. Because that apparently seems to be the thing right now with the conservatives, the young conservatives. And I can get ambushed. Anybody can get ambushed. That's why it's called ambushed. It can happen to anybody. We need to do something, especially in these fucking lawless ass cities. Marshall of the Bronx was busted around 5:30 p.m., about a half mile from the scene, and charged with first-degree assault, a felony, according to cops and prosecutors. So he should have 2 felonies by now. Remember when 3 strikes was a thing? I remember. He pleaded not guilty and was held on Rikers Island without bail during his Tuesday afternoon arraignment. The move to keep Marshall behind bars came about a month after he was granted supervised release in connection to a subway slashing in the Bronx. So, not even a month later, huh? In that case, He allegedly knifed a 21-year-old man across the left side of his face for no reason on board a number 6 train passing through Zarega Avenue Station around 11:45 p.m. August 28th, cops and prosecutors said. The victim was taken to Jacoby Medical Center where he had been listed in stable condition, police said. Marshall, okay, man. He was arrested on September 15th and was charged with first-degree attempted assault, assault in the second and third degrees, criminal possession of a weapon, and harassment, according to the criminal complaint. Judge Ralph R. Wolf granted Marshall supervised release, despite prosecutors' request for him to be held on cash bail and bond. The DA's office said, I'm not playing semantics with the fucking money because it really doesn't even matter anymore. When asked for background on the judge ruling, the spokesman for the state's Office of Court Administration said, the court system does not comment on individual bail determinations. It is important to know, however, that the vast majority of bail decisions turn on the court's discretionary weighing of a broad range of factors in order to make an individual assessment of the defendant's risk of flight to avoid prosecution. Spokesman A.I. Baker said that assessment involves due consideration of information and arguments presented by the prosecutor and defense counsel, as well as other materials submitted to the court. Marshall had racked up several busts before his latest unsettling attack. He had also been arrested back in January 26 for allegedly punching a 27-year-old man, a stranger, on board the MTA bus at Allen and Grand Streets on the Lower East Side. Okay, so here's the thing. What? Get my sister's name out your mouth, he smiled during a senseless attack. Again, this is the same individual who killed that fucking Ukrainian girl. Right? And here's the thing. While yes, you have a lot of like fucking brain rotted blacks that hate white people, I think a lot of people don't understand that a lot of that hatred that a lot of blacks have towards whites, where they can just claim racism for every fucking thing. Realistically, and this is something I picked up on. It's not just whites. It's not just, they hate everyone. Everyone. I remember sitting and listening to a black guy feel like he was cooking when he was talking shit towards a Korean, and he brought up Pearl Harbor, and I had to sit there and be like, that those are not the same. You talk about the Japanese, you think he's Chinese, my man is Korean. But my man felt like he was cooking. And another thing is, so you get a mentally ill person who can string together some fucking words, being crazy, and then he can sit there and say white people are the devil. So the craziest thing is whether there's a chance that he actually hates whites, or maybe he's just saying it, stringing it. Because again, mentally ill people will parrot shit just to fucking do it. My man over here cutting people, punching people in the face, talking about get my sister's name out your mouth. Motherfuckers don't even know this guy's had a sister, but they're mentally ill. And we have a mental illness problem in America. The disposition of that case was not immediately known. He was also arrested for allegedly punching a 33-year-old man in the side of the head on a northbound Elf train on 2nd Avenue back in March, law enforcement said. Okay, so he's just going around doing stupid shit, and you just let this person on the street over and over and over and over and over and over again? Again, it is one thing if you are defending yourself from a situation like this, right? For example, if somebody pulls out a knife on me, there's a good chance that depending on how far it goes and I get the upper hand, that person's not leaving whole. That's just how it goes. Because when it's go time, it's go time. And as men, and even as women, you need to understand the world is not all rainbows and sunshine. And when it's go time, it is go time. And in that case, I expect to be released. I got a clean record. I didn't just go around attacking somebody randomly. My story makes fucking sense compared to the other fucking person with a history of doing bullshit. Let me go. Let me free. That's it. Right? Now, when someone sits there and they go, oh yeah, that person was released. Those are the people who should be released, not the motherfuckers actually the aggressors, not the attackers, not the person with a history, a paper trail of criminal activity. And yet they let these people out, and then these people go out to go kill somebody down the line. Anyway, that attack was ruled a hate crime, but he was still released with non-monetary conditions during his arraignment, according to online court records. Again, it's only going to get worse. This shit is only going to get worse until we get a sweeping crime reform across the entire country. And the thing is, they know if they did some shit like this. Let me put it to you like this. In 20 years, if they was to do something, if they did that shit tonight, they brought back 3 strikes, but they kept it fair. Because the thing is, 3 strikes wasn't wrong. It was the way that it was applied that was wrong. Most individuals, right, at some point in their life will spend a night in jail. It may be something small like hopping the turnstile or some crazy. Well, that was back then. I don't know how bad it is, but I would say a good 30%, 40% of the male population at some point will spend a night in jail at least once or get in trouble with the law at some point. But collecting felonies is not something every fucking adult male does. To collect, now, mind you, I'm not sitting here saying you collect 3 felonies and that should be the end of your life. It all depends on what you're doing. Kidnapping women, by the way, we still don't know what happened to that fucking woman that was kidnapped, who's been missing for 13 days. At least I gotta check on it now. I hope that that woman is okay. Matter of fact, please excuse me. Let me go check exactly right now. I know that this is kind of bad, and I apologize, but this is a story that I actually. Please tell me they found this girl. So, okay, well, here we go. So, with the whole detail between Kata and Kwan King, well, Kwan King and Kata Scott, she's still missing, Kata Scott, but new details on Keon King. There's a third victim who has an active protection order. So, this motherfucker was a menace, and this is what we're talking about. You let these people just roam free. But as the trash, what was it? The trash comment in that video said, it's just a parasite taking out another parasite, right? That's as far as they consider it. As long as it's supposedly a black doing it to another black, it doesn't matter. And then you wonder why you have some blacks who don't give a fuck about what happened to white people. Personally, I don't give a fuck what happens to white people or black people. Ah, you see? Ah, you thought you caught me slipping. You know why? Because at the end of the day, a crime is a crime is a crime. But I'm not going to sit here and pretend that blacks don't feel that shit first, because we are the people that they experiment on with all of their fucking experiments first. And you can take that to the bank. Let's get to the next story, shall we? And yes, you can care about multiple things at a time. You don't got to sit there and fucking dismiss one evil for another evil because you want your side to win. That's loser mentality right there. I care about everyone. And I hope that this girl comes back. I hope that Kata Scott's alive. I really do. All right. Jealous NYC woman flew to Florida, killed ex's new girlfriend after being blocked on social media. All right. Second story. Let's get it. A jealous woman up. A jealous woman flew to Florida and viciously stabbed to death her ex new girlfriend because she was furious the other girl had blocked her on social media. A jury ruled Tuesday. What is that name? Shakina, Shakaya Thompson, 31, was found guilty of first-degree murder for stabbing Kayla Hodgson, 23, dozens of times at her apartment in South Florida in July 2022. Thompson, who was 2 months pregnant, Thompson, who was 2 months pregnant at the time of the attack, testified Monday that she blacked out only to suddenly gain consciousness and realize she had killed her romantic rival. So hold on. So now the question comes to my head: was Thompson pregnant with this man's baby, but this man didn't want to be in this woman's life anymore? Or maybe he just was a fuckboy moving from woman to woman. Well, then, I mean, bro, New York and Florida is not close. It takes 3 hours to fly. Am I bugging him? Like, how crazy do you gotta be? So my man, so him okay. All right. All right. All right. So these was the two girls. So this is the girl that killed this girl. All right. I was walking in blood, Thompson told the court in Fort Lauderdale. I killed her because she took the glass from the hookah and slashed me across my stomach. She said, claiming she acted in self-defense. I felt like she was trying to hurt my baby. Shorty, she blocked you. You flew all the way to this woman, and you feel like she was trying to hurt you? Okay. But prosecutors said Thompson was jealous and insecure about a former lover's new girlfriend and flew to South Florida from New York a few days before the murder with the plan to confront and kill her. Ooh, sounds a little bit more believable though. That right there. The conversation turned tense after Thompson asked Huxkin to talk woman to woman at her home in the Tarmac Village apartments. See, that's crazy. Man, this is why when you find a girl and she sits there and says her hobby is fucking traveling, that is a red flag. Just like having a girlfriend in the fucking in the health field. Those are red flags. Them girls travel around. Or for those girls in them health fields, that girl's being traveled around. She went to a whole nother fucking state to kill somebody. Again, maybe the baby's this guy's. You know, she really loved this fucking guy, or her idea of a warped love. I don't know. Hudson was stabbed a dozen of times. Yeah, so you just got mentally ill. You again, so you just got spazzes. Two women capable of fucking travel, which is not that surprising because you find out it's always the crazies. It's always the crazies among us. There's a woman right now who calls me. She managed to get my fucking number through somebody else. And she calls me all the fucking time whenever she's paranoid. Some nights it's completely quiet. Other nights she calls me like fucking sometimes 5 times a night, talking about she thinks somebody's watching her. The woman lives on the second floor of a building. Dog. She lives on the second floor of a building. You know what I'm saying? But here she comes calling. When she wakes up, she's calling. And the thing is, she's a fucking drunk. But here's the thing: as mentally ill as she was married at one point. She had kids. In fact, I was told the reason for her divorce was because she kept getting drunk and was beating the shit out of her husband. Is this the spilling of the tea you guys enjoy so much from me? But here's the scarier thing. This woman got a car. As crazy as she is, this woman has had a kid already. You know what's crazy? So she calls me so many times. I actually put her number in my phone, so I would see her number sometimes. And I'm gonna be honest, I ignore her calls sometimes. She has multiple phones. She has a car, and she's batshit crazy. But this is what I'm talking about. You have people who are batshit crazy in positions where you're like, how the fuck does a person like you allow to do the shit that you do? How? And no one stopped you. How do you slip through the cracks? Thompson admitted that she changed into her victim's clothes and cleaned up some of the crime scene before leaving. Man, she did that shit. I'm sorry, dog. Like, okay, so she's trying to sit there and say that she blacked out. She got so mad that she just lost it, right? This woman planned this. Okay, let me give it a reason. Let me give it. Okay, I lose the ability to believe in this woman's story. So you mean she just panicked, cleaned up the crime scene, wore the other woman's clothes, and tried to dip? Come on now. We know what happened. Because let's say if she really blacked out and woke up in a pool of fucking blood. Oh shit. Oh shit. The first thing you do is call 911. She knew what she was doing. You mean to tell me we're supposed to just sit there and go, she no longer had agency when she fucked with a guy who apparently, I don't know if this guy's a good guy or not a good guy. We don't know nothing about the guy so far, right? But I'm gonna bet my two coins, my two nuts, right? My man is just fucking whoever. He doesn't care, right? She fell in love with this guy, probably let him bust him raw. Who knows? Because we don't know. Yo, it would be crazy if the baby isn't his and she's pregnant by another person. That would be insane, right? But not shocking. But yo, this is not funny. A woman lost her life. But here's the deal. Here's the deal. Walking wearing this other woman's clothes. Yo, that's crazy. Here's the deal. And with the mask up. And with the fucking mask. Got a mask up. Here's the deal. She got blocked, meaning they was going at it for some time for her to get blocked. Which again is just weird behavior, right? That's one of the things I've done a long time ago, even on Facebook. I kept a really, really low friends list. And another thing on Facebook is that I kind of don't want to see my exes. That's just me because I get like this obsession thing where I need to check on them. And so I stopped at a very, very young age where I just was like, I don't want to see my exes ever. I don't want to see people who I fucked with in the past. I don't want to check on them. I don't even want to give myself that ability, that temptation to do that. So I would just completely delete everybody. Don't talk to me. Don't do any of that. Don't just enjoy your life. That's me. She was blocked. She flew all the way to this woman's fucking house in Florida, a whole nother state. There's a 3-hour flight from New York. And then she killed her, which okay. She knew and she's 2 months pregnant. She knew she's pregnant. She knows she's pregnant. She kills this fucking woman. Then she puts on her clothes and tries to clean up the scene and says she doesn't know. Man, miss me with that shit. Broward County Police found Hodgson, the waitress, dead inside her home on July 13th. She now faces life behind bars. Good. And when did she kill her? I really wish that thing on the top of the New York Post wouldn't do that. When did this happen? When did she fly out? So it doesn't say? They don't got a day? I'm guessing it was later on that they just found her in the house dead. She left her for dead. Man, that shit's crazy. That shit is crazy. But we already know. We already know. What is this? Florida mother arrested for allegedly forcing 11-year-old daughter to perform sex acts on video. Include bestiality? Sorry, give me a second. I don't want to get sidetracked there. Hey, yo, bro, get out of here. I'm not supporting nobody. Get out of here, Adam. I'm not supporting nobody. Who's the woman? Just show me a picture of the woman. Why is there no picture of the woman? Come on, you can't just have a. Oh, so they blocked it out? What's her name? You got a name? A floor. What's her name? The mother whose name and age was not shared. Huh. Okay, sure, whatever. I don't understand why they. I don't understand why they protect criminals the way they do. I don't get it. I don't get it. All right. Last story. We almost done, guys. Arizona dad who left 2-year-old daughter to die in sweltering car was distracted by porn. An Arizona father accused of leaving his toddler to cook to death in a sweltering car was allegedly watching pornography as the 2-year-old was left sleeping in the cruiser for more than 3 hours, prosecutors revealed during a court hearing Tuesday. Christopher Schultz, 37, was distracted watching the X-rated videos when he left his youngest daughter Parker inside a car parked in the driveway of his Marano home during a scorching 109-degree day last summer. Prosecutors said the careless dad was also playing video games and drinking beer as his daughter perished from heat exposure inside the searing 203 Acura on July 9th, 2024. Ain't no way, dog. Ain't no fucking way, dog. Ain't no fucking way. There's no way. See, this is the shit that kills me, right? Why is it always the worst people who are offered everything, while good people are never given that same chance? There are plenty of good men and women who will never know the love of being able to call that they have a family. This man got had three beautiful little girls, had a wife. How could you be so fucked? Like, this is the thing, and this is the thing I gotta say. There had to have been signs. You don't just sit there and leave your daughter in a car for 3 hours and you don't realize. There's no man on this fucking planet that does that. None. Now, I could understand if you and your girls together and both parents accidentally think the kid is with the other parent. That can happen. But at some point, right, you get that fucking feeling. You ever was traveling and you misplaced your phone? It's in a pocket that you forgot you put it in. So you do that initial search and you get that fucking heart, that dropped heart feeling. I could only imagine that shit being so much worse for a human life. That is what a normal human being should feel. So you mean to tell me this man didn't feel any of this? And you mean to tell me the wife didn't notice any of this? Now, mind you, it says he went to a store, he stole from the store, he's playing video games and pornography. He's playing video games and looking at pornography. Why? Wasn't she giving you plenty of buns? You got 3 kids. Again, it ain't like as though she's not putting out. Come on now. I don't, man, this shit makes me upset, dog. Before returning home, Schultz had left Parker alone in the car at a gas station and a supermarket where surveillance footage captured him stealing the cans of beer, according to court documents obtained by the outlet. Schultz first claimed he left the napping tot in the car with the air conditioner blasting for 30 minutes after returning home from shopping at around 2:30 p.m. because he didn't want to wake her. Shut the fuck up, dude. But who leaves their okay? Does that sound better? Does that sound better? You left your fucking daughter unattended in a car for 30 minutes because you didn't want to wake her? I don't care how safe your fucking neighborhood is. All these fucking crazy people running around. I guess he thought he was cook. I guess this individual thought he was cooking, right? Like the kids say. He thought he was cooking when he said that. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say I didn't. I wasn't negligent. Yeah, I left her. Yeah. But court records later show he zoned out on video games for more than 3 hours. And to his horrified doctor wife, his wife is a doctor? So his wife was making good money? All you gotta do, all you gotta do is be an average dad and you skating easy. You get to jerk it, even though you don't need to jerk it because you got a beautiful wife. You don't think she's stressed out and want to get a good pipe in afterward? She gave you the dog. His wife is a doctor. Ben Shapiro, my wife is a doctor. I think his wife is a doctor. I think that's the joke. Your wife is a doctor. Your wife gave you 3 kids. And you get to be the stay-at-home dad playing video games, and you couldn't even be just a. We're not saying you don't got to be the best dad. All you got to do is be a decent dad. Anyway, but court records later showed he zoned out on video games for more than 3 hours until his horrified doctor wife, Erica, came home at 4 p.m. and found the child unconscious in the car. The young girl was pronounced dead an hour later at Banner University Medical Center, the same hospital where her mother worked as an anesthesiologist. Oh my God. So hold on. So he hit the jackpot. That entire family. Wait, what? LA elementary school teacher caught an undercover sexton's sting, said he had mega access to child porn, blamed his wife. What? All right. We got to look at these teachers, dog. Anyway, they say predators. I'm sorry to get off track, but they say predators always put themselves in positions of power so that they go uncontested with violations towards the most vulnerable. Anyway, the porn distracted dad later reportedly admitted that he knew the vehicle's engine would automatically shut off after 30 minutes. Erica scolded her husband in a series of text messages after the tragedy that described the disturbing message of neglect court documents show. Let's look at the text messages. It better be nothing but I'm leaving you. That better be the only thing that she leaves her. This is a situation when you walk away, shorty.
In a hot car in southern Arizona, 37-year-old Christopher Schultes told Marana police he left the young girl inside the vehicle when it was still running with the AC on. He said the girl was sleeping, he didn't want to wake her, and he went inside to take a nap. It was only when the toddler's mom came home about 3 hours later that the child was found in the car, and by that time, the vehicle's engine and the AC, they were not on. Despite life-saving measures, the young girl died. Schultes has been charged with second-degree murder and child abuse.
I'm sorry. There was something. Here we go. Okay, hold on. What is this music playing? What is this music playing, dog? All right. I told you to stop leaving them in the car. Erica Schultz, an anesthesiologist, told her husband in text messages after the July 9th tragedy. So he has a history of doing this. So this is what I'm talking about. The signs are there. The signs that people make bad decisions. He's leaving your kid. Wow. How many times have I told you? Babe, I'm sorry, the accused killer allegedly responded. Baby, our family, how could I do this? I killed our baby. This can't be real. Erica Solch called Parker perfect during the. Is his name Parker? Okay, Parker was the daughter. Okay, I think Parker was the daughter. I hope Parker's the fucking daughter. I don't. Right? Parker was the little girl's name. Man, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Erica scolded her husband in a series of text messages after the tragedy that described a disturbing pattern of neglect court documents showed. I told you to stop leaving him in the car, the devastated mother said. During the heartbreaking exchange, in which she called her younger daughter perfect. How many times have I told you? Schultz later replied, admitting that he killed our baby and apologizing. Man. Schultz, two other. There she goes calling. Scott's other daughters told cops their dad sometimes left them alone in the car while he got distracted by playing his game and putting away his food, according to police records. His older daughter, whom he shared with another woman and lost custody of earlier this year, had also been abandoned in her father's car in the past, but she was old enough to know how to restart the vehicle to keep the rest of the children alive. What? His older daughter, whom he shared with another woman and lost custody of earlier this year, had also been abandoned in her father's car in the past, but she was old enough to know how to restart the vehicle to keep the rest of the children alive. What? Hold on, I'm sorry, my brain is not picking up on this proper. Hold on. His older daughter, whom he shared with another woman and lost custody of earlier this year, had also been abandoned in her father's car in the past, but was old enough to know how to restart the vehicle to keep the rest of the children alive. So he did this before. Schultz was also accused of repeatedly physically abusing his eldest daughter, according to the Department of Child Services, which reported that he frequently slapped her, threw her, and slammed her head against wall. Despite being charged with first-degree murder for the alleged heinous killing, to which he has pleaded not guilty, the father of four's wife has remained. She stayed by his side. She stays by. Yo, you can't. This is what I'm talking about. When it comes down to these terrible fucking people, they choose to be terrible. This woman comes from a line of doctors, apparently, from what I'm seeing here. It could probably just be her mother, right? And her. You know, I'm probably putting too much sauce on it, right? But he has a long history of fucking up. He has learned nothing. He has changed nothing. It is okay to walk away. Link in the description there for ladies who want to see that playlist. Some men deserve to be treated like shit. You got 4? Does he have 4 daughters? See, okay, this is what I'm a little bit confused by, right? So he has 4 daughters. So my man is bumping out girls. He lost one. We've seen the other 2. And I'm guessing the oldest one we haven't seen. I'm not sure. But maybe I'm butchering this. Correct me if I'm not in the comments. Correct me in the comments. So he has another daughter by another woman. And he lost custody of that one, which is the one that he abuses, right? Multiple kids. This fucking shit stain has multiple fucking kids. Multiple fucking kids. And you got enough time to play. You got enough time to play some PlayStation, look at some porn and all of this shit. Man, makes no goddamn. Anyway, guys, that's the video. I hope you enjoyed. Leave it in the comments. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace. It's a big mistake, man.